Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. This is the Diane White Show live, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Hope you are going to have a productive day today, a blessed one, and hope that all the things that you're fighting, all your enemies and the devil, you can stomp on them today. Remember, we started off yesterday with the word fear. And I wondered, what is your fear? What are you fearful of? And whatever it is, we want you to know that God is there to take you and carry you through whatever that fear is. But you have to face that fear, because every single day we fear something. We fear going to the shopping mall these days, because you see, last night, if you were in New Jersey at a mall there, you were running for cover, running for your life, and some crazy 20-year-old is shooting when the mall is almost closed and people are having a good time. So you're just wondering and fearing, shall I be going to the mall anymore? Yes, you should go to the mall, because you should not allow one crazy 20-year-old who has a drug problem and other problems to stop you from doing what you want to do. Should you stop going to or flying through LAX airport, or traveling for that matter, because of the young man who decided that he didn't like the the TSA people? I'm still trying to figure that one out. So he shoots a bunch of people, kills one, and he's in the hospital fighting for his life, unable to speak because he was shot in the face. So should we all then say, well, we're not going to travel because? So we can't live in that kind of crippling fear. But there's something that we fear all the time. We fear things that are simple, things that we are wondering, why are we fearing this? But you must face your fear. So we have to continue flying, and we have to continue going to the mall. So we start off this morning in Miami. And it's not just Miami, you see. It's the sports industry in this country, where people who are athletes believe that they own the world, and they're little demagogues or little gods. And that's one of the reasons I have stopped watching sports, because there are nice guys like LeBron James and stuff who I like individually and all of that. But these guys, they go around and they do things, they expect to get away with it because they're athletes. But now we see that the secret they've been hiding is that they are the biggest bullies in the world. So the Miami Dolphins, who the other day I was kind of saying, oh, they're still alive, they're winning a game or two. Now they've kind of just chopped their legs off by themselves. Because you see, there's the bully called Mr. Cognito. Is that his name? Yeah, I think so. Somewhere here. Let's see. What's the bully's name? Yes. Wow. Mr. Incognito? What kind of name is that anyway? So he uses his name to the max, because he not only bullies the players, his fellow players, especially Jonathan Martin, who has now left the Dolphins, he also bullies the media by sending nasty texts and emails to people and talking about the guy is a half nigger. Wow, explosive guy. What is his problem? And when you go and you Google his name, he has trouble after trouble after trouble. So why is he then playing for the Dolphins, making all this money, believing he is God himself? So he can just bully people and get away with it, because it's obvious that he's been doing it for a while and getting away with it. And what is this bullying thing where the rookies have to come in and pay for dinners for the older guys, like $30,000 worth of food, and they showed you this big fancy table spread of food. Big men behaving like boys, because they are indeed boys, because some of them are just 24, in their 20s, they're still kids, not knowing how to handle their success or handle the money that they're indeed making. So yes, we thought that bullying was only in high school and middle school and baby school. No. It's in the sports arena, with the players, in the locker room, out of the locker room, on Twitter, by email. So my question is, Mr. Incognito, if he thinks he's that smart, didn't he know that his Twitter feed is forever there? And people can actually go back, which they did yesterday, and all the tweets that he sent to Martin are all there in plain language. Yeah, some of it was kind of codey, but So we wonder, how is it that the NFL knows about this bullying? And they brush it off like, guys bully guys and guys will be guys. Guys will not be guys. Bullies are bullies in bullies and bullies, and that's it, bullies. You have your disabled child, you send them to school, they're bullied by the bullies. So we need to stop the bullying, period. I know I must have told you about trying to go to high school when I was in Jamaica, and some girls are coming talking about they gonna rag you. It just happened that it was out the door of the principal's office, and I said, okay, you're gonna try to rag me? I don't think so. And if you do, I'll be walking inside the principal's office, and I know each and every one of your names. Hence, the bullies walked away, because when you face your bullies, but I guess Mr. Martin could not take it any longer, because he went to the canteen or the lunchroom, wherever they eat, and when he got there, everyone got up. You don't have to beat people up physically to abuse them. There's emotional abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse. Because you have some people, they abuse you indirectly and think that you're stupid enough to not notice that it's abuse. Or they abuse you with their power. We have to check that. And mothers who have sons who are sportsmen, athletes, whatever you want to call them, you need to train your sons to be better human beings. And not believe that they can beat a girl up because they're an athlete and get away with it. They can do drugs and get away with it. They can carry guns and shoot people and get away with it. As mothers, we need to take our sons into the fray. And just as much as our daughters. Let our daughters know that they should not accept abuse from anyone, whether male or female. Or bullying. And that's why when that word bullying is used loosely, like in, some of these housewives shows, it just annoys me. Like Alexis in, Orange County Housewives. She's always talking about bullying. Does she understand what bullying is? So we look at the Dolphins today, and we are going to watch to see. Yes, Incognito was suspended indefinitely, and I suspect that's the end of his NFL career, because any other team that takes him up, they are a bunch of cowards. And I wonder if they don't realize that people are indeed watching. I don't watch. Even the Super Bowl, I'm totally turned off of. Because I don't believe that people should be out there killing each other to win. And then you find out last year that, there's this coach telling his players to go out there and injure people. So there's too much mess in the whole athletic arena in this country. And these guys are getting multi-million-dollar contracts that you and I will never, ever be able to see. And is their job much more difficult than the jobs that we do? I personally don't think so. And I don't think they're worth the money they're getting anyway. Yeah, they're providing entertainment for a whole lot of people who pay those ridiculous prices for their tickets. But do they deserve it when they behave like this? Absolutely not. I remember going to college and those guys would come into class, they don't do anything, they come in their slippers and socks and like they didn't even brush their teeth or wake up properly, and they're in their jersey and they come in and they barely bring a book. And they pass the class just for showing up because they're an athlete. And athletics mean money for every college in this country. So are we going to address bullying from the top, because now it's the top that's exposed? Or are we just gonna kind of brush it off and pretend like it really didn't happen? And as we move on to Mr. Snowden, who has the nerve to be talking and giving press conferences and talking about he's speaking the truth? Mr. Snowden, Diana Wright, is here to let you know that the truth about the NSA and what happens within the NSA after you have taken a job and taken an oath to keep secrets, it is not your truth to tell. I believe in speaking the truth. I believe in people telling the truth. But it is not and was not and will never be your truth to tell. You're ruining lives. You're ruining relationships with countries. You're putting the American people at risk to terrorists. When you reveal all these secrets, Mr. Snowden, and claim that you are some hero because you're speaking the truth, do you think the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and all the terrorists from Somalia and all those places are sitting down and not watching or listening to what you're leaking? Get your brain in gear. And talking about you're speaking the truth to protect them. I don't want your truth to protect me. Because it's not and was never and will never be your truth to tell. Now, Secretary Kerry is promising that the NSA will find a way to do their surveillances and their spying and whatever they do in a way that doesn't compromise innocent people. But do you actually believe as Americans that the Germans who are complaining and the Russians and the Pakistanis and the French and everyone that are complaining about spying, they're not spying too? Well, if you believe that, then you're a little crazy. Because all nations, in my opinion, are spying at some level. It just happens that the NSA got a crazy person who obviously wants some grandeur and want to be seen and want to be known, Mr. Snowden. Yes, he says, oh, he didn't do it for the publicity. Yes, he did. Did he not know that this was not his truth to tell? Did he not know that he was going to put us as Americans in jeopardy with the terrorists? Does he not know that when bin Laden was taken, killed by the Obama administration and the SEALs, did you see what he was doing? His job was sitting down there watching the news by satellite from America. So what do you think? And Saudi Arabia is now upset with the Obama administration because they are talking to Iran. Can't we just agree to disagree without people falling out? And if you check the history and all the activities, most of them, including the guys who ran those planes into and plotted and planned that terrorist attack on 9/11, they were Saudis. So why should we just give the Saudis a free pass? And they are the ones that are supporting a whole lot of people because they are of their same religious equation around the world. Are you really reading and understanding what's going on around you? You need to, you must. And young people, you have life so easy, you no longer have to go to the library. It's on your phone, in your hand. Google is what it's called. And you find anything basically that you're looking for. We had to go to the library and toil through the books, and if you had so lucky to have encyclopedias at home, and then you had the thesaurus that you had to go through in the regular dictionary. Now you don't even have to do that. I think young people now should be more brilliant and do better in school because they have life so much easier than we did. So once again, this is the Diana Wright Show Live. We welcome you from around the world and in the United States. We do this every day, Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 11:30. Tomorrow, my special guest will be Dax Dunn, because if it's Wednesday, it's Wellness Wednesday. So we invite you to join us. Last week, Tuesday, we were privileged enough to have Mr. David Muir, the photographer extraordinaire, who was my guest. And I have another guest that I'm working on for Thursday, so we'll just let you know about that. But it's just to show you that we need to be engaged. I see NBC is coming up with, or MSNBC coming up with some new thing about Join It. We can't just sit back and be passive and say nothing and do nothing. We have to be part of the process. We have to engage as a people and know what's going on. We have to watch the news, not all day. And I don't recommend Fox, but you need to be watching the news. If you have Uverse, watch the international channel, which is CNN International, if you want to get a different scope on things. Watch the BBC News, it's on there. And watch CNN and watch MSNBC, and yeah, I guess some of you are going to watch Fox. So I just encourage you to do that, to open up your mind. And while we push on this show for you to love yourself continuously, that is a major place for you to start. I love me, 3 magic words. They will get you on your day along with your prayer and all the other things that you need to do. We're going to take a break and we come back in just a moment right here on the Diana Wright Show Live. We do this every day, 10:30 to 11:30. We'll be back in just a moment. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter. And join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Okay, we are back, and just reminding you that come November 9th, that's this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m., Anne-Marie and myself will be joining Chef Bunny at Auntie Merle's Kitchen, and that is in the Burlington Coat Factory Plaza at the corner of Southern Boulevard and 441 in West Palm Beach. Easy to find. Chef Bunny is going to give you some tasters of his cuisine, which is Jamaican, and we hope that you enjoy the food. You come, you taste, and you buy. and just, increase his business. And maybe you can buy a book, my book, Deadly Negligence, and maybe you can buy some stuff from Anne Marie as she teaches you about skincare and all that other stuff. All right, so join us. It is this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. inside of the Burlington Coat Factory Plaza, and the name of the restaurant is Auntie Merle's Kitchen. Yeah, it's Auntie Merle's Kitchen. The chef is Brother Bunny. Chef Bunny will be there to give you the tasters that you need. So I hope you can join us for that occasion. And also, I just want to remind you about something else that's coming up in Broward this weekend. It is on Sunday from 4, I guess until you say when. And it's going to be an evening of elegance, a college scholarship fundraising drive. And the Reverend Dr. Jerry Gallimore will be your Master of Ceremonies. Keynote speaker will be Mrs. Lillian Lincoln Lambert. And the Virtues will be performing, and also Cheryl Rose Green. So you can join them at the Sheraton Hotel in Plantation on University Drive. That's 311 North University Drive in Plantation. It's hard to miss. It's right there at the corner of Broward and University Drive, almost. You can't miss it. And of course, the tickets are on sale, and you can also get them at the door. So join them for an evening of elegance, a college scholarship fundraising drive taking place in Broward at the Sheraton Hotel on University Drive, close to Broward Boulevard, and it begins at 4 p.m. on Sunday. All right, also, what else do I want to tell you about? I want to tell you about this event that's coming up Sunday, November 17th. You have a little more time for this one. It's called, and it's dubbed, My Redeemer Lives. A gospel concert presents Marlon Brother Paul Anderson. I gather he's very good. And Mr. Littell Gale and his singers will be there, the Anointed Voices. And that will take place in Palm Beach Lakes High School Auditorium. That's on Shiloh Drive in West Palm Beach. So we'll continue to give you the information about that. And hopefully Miguel might join us again, or Dee, to give us tell us how it's going. I'll give you Dee's number is 561-351-3443, or you can call Miguel at 561-889-9584. Those are the numbers to call to find out about My Redeemer Lives, the gospel concert coming up November 17. Okay, we are back now, and we're going to go back and talk a little bit more about what's going on in Florida. We see that Governor Charlie Crist. We didn't get to Christie yet. Christie is having his day today. He's hopping around and talking about whispering Democrats, telling him they're going to vote for him. But we'll get to him in a minute. Governor Charlie Crist has announced that he's running to unseat, chop the legs off Rick Scott, the man who said, let's get to work. But there's no work. Is there work? Do you have a job in Florida? Or don't you? So we're going to see how that fleshes out. We told you last week about the congressman who died, and his wife sent a nasty email to tell Charlie Crist, you're not invited to this memorial service. Very nasty of her, I think. So everyone is saying that Charlie Crist is an opportunist. He's a hypocrite. He's this. We're all hypocrites. We're all opportunists. Some of us marry for opportunity. Yeah. How bad is that? Both male and female, you do it. So Governor Crist ran for the Senate. He got whooped by Marco Rubio, and I promise you, if Charlie Crist was in Washington, he would have done a better job than Marco Rubio is doing. That's my take on that. So Governor Charlie Crist announced he's running again. He's on and off to running and raising money. But everyone, not everyone, some people are saying, oh, he was a Republican, then he was an independent, and now he's a Democrat. Can we trust him? Why not? He was a Republican, but if you remember, he was the moderate Republican who allowed black people especially to vote. souls to the polls to continue, and all those long lines in 2008, that he opened the polls late to allow us to vote. Don't forget that now. He is the moderate Republican that the Republicans who are on the edge and the Tea Partiers did not like, because he was too moderate. So he then, I guess they kind of snubbed him, so he went and he became an independent. He was not successful as an independent. So now he is a Democrat. Remember, he supported President Obama on some things that he should have done. I'm sure that if Charlie Crist was still governor, we would have that money to get that train, bullet train, going in Florida, which we need. We would have so many more tourists coming from all over the place with that bullet. Can you imagine America is the only place in the modern world that you can go to and there are no bullet trains? And the transportation system is actually lousy apart from New York. And I don't even like New York subway anyway. Give me them bullet trains. I went to, when you go to Europe and you jump in that bullet train, boom, 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 you're there, and it's clean and comfortable and ugh. When you go into the New York subway, you're kind of watching. Don't come too close to me. Don't be trying to work yourself up on me. That's what my experience when I lived in New York. And I had to go to school or do something and go to Manhattan and go to work on the train. Oh, I hated it. Still do. So, there are things that we can imagine if Charlie Crist was still our governor, he would have done. That would have been good for Florida. He would have taken the Medicaid expansion, I guarantee you. He would have set up exchanges instead of blocking them for the Affordable Care Act. Guarantee you. So, what are you going to do come 2014 November? Are you going to vote for the guy who switched parties? Or are you going to vote for the most unliked governor, one of? At one time he was the lowest rated governor, Rick Scott. What are you going to do? We'll see what you do. But today is a day of Governor Chris Christie, who is sailing to re-election without the people actually knowing what he stands for. And did you like the way he bullied that teacher at an event yesterday? Pointing his finger. Did you see him when he abused that woman who asked about education and why he sends his kids to private school while he cut the funding of public schools in New Jersey? We got to know what we're voting for. Don't just go with the ride, because the ride is not always what it seems like it is. So may there be a supernatural divine intervention by God, that all those Democrats who Governor Chris Christie says are whispering in his ears yesterday to tell him, oh, I'm a Democrat, but I'm going to vote for you. You think God might just supernaturally let them change their minds when they get to the ballot box and vote for the female on the ticket? If you believe in miracles like me and the supernatural, it can happen. So let us not get ahead of ourselves and talk about the landslide. And oh, he's going to be landslide just like George W. And then he's going to be president in 2016. I wouldn't go that far. Because I think the abrasiveness of Governor Chris Christie in New Jersey, and I do like that, the fact that he speaks his mind. I think he's a little abrasive sometimes. I don't think that's going to fly in the entire United States of America. It might not even fly in the conservative primary, where he will be hammered for perusing with President Obama when there was Sandy and caused Romney to lose the election. No, he didn't. Romney was never ever going to be president of the United States. Chris Christie, I don't think will be president of the United States. None of us know who will be the next president. We're all hoping that it will be Hillary Clinton if she decides to run. Joe Biden is now putting his fingers in the automatic button. But one regret I do have is that John Edwards turned out to be enamored by a young woman who wanted to get into his pants and he wanted to get into her panties, because he was the one that had the message that this country has to face. We have two Americas, one for the haves and one for the have-nots. And we're even thinking that we have two unemployment numbers, one for the haves and one for the have-nots, one for blacks and one for whites, one for whites and one for Hispanic. Don't shrug, because you know it's true. And until we stop talking about all the things that's, oh, if you give them $9 an hour, then all the businesses are going to close down. That's a scare tactic by the Republican Party led by Speaker Boehner. How can we begrudge poor people from being able to get health care? How can we deny blacks, minorities, the right to vote? How do we continue to deny felons? Yes, they did something wrong, but if they've paid their debt to society, should we continue to not allow them to vote, as some red states are doing? Isn't it your right to vote? If you can come out of prison, serve your time, and you can buy a house, and you can do all those other things, and you can get a job and pay your taxes, why can't you vote? Lots of things are going on in this little country that we call the United States of America. And every state has its own agenda. The red states have the agenda of blocking the Affordable Care Act at all odds. Doesn't matter if the people are hurt in their constituencies, because we're not there for the people. We're there for the power and the money and the prestige and the popularity and the glorification. That's why we're there. Senator Ted Cruz, he came and he made his mess, and everyone is on the edge of their seats waiting for January and February to come again, because he is then also planning to shut the government down again. So what will Speaker Boehner make happen? As we see that Speaker Boehner seemed to be just about against everything. Now he's against discrimination against gay people in the workplace. Oh, when I saw that yesterday, I was like, okay, Speaker Boehner, what's next? What are you? You can't just live your life being against things. You got to be for something. Can you just, okay, you're against gay people being equally served in their workplace. So can you be for jobs then? Can you be for something? Can you be for fixing the bridges and the roads and the infrastructure generally? Speaker Boehner, please, we need it to be for something. You cannot just be for nothing and be against everything because you're afraid of losing your one job, Speaker of the House. You're afraid of the Tea Party fringe crazies in your party. Can you please get them to be for something? Life should not be like this where people are just against everything. There's got to be something that pleases those Tea Partiers. Is there anything they would want? And again, I ask the question, If you hate the government so much, Ted Cruz, your Rafael Cruz, and all the Tea Partiers and the Republicans, why do you want to be employed by the government? Please, somebody, help me, please. And Senator Rand Paul, if I were you, I would stop talking. And I would stop plagiarizing, because now the more you talk is the more all of the press is going to try to find the things that you said that either came from someone else or you got it from Wikipedia. So, Senator Rand Paul, stop. Now we find out that you're not just plagiarizing from Wikipedia, you're also taking things from other people's speeches. And you're doing it also in written speeches and written papers. No, you can't do that. No one is saying you can't pull something from the internet or whatever, but just say where you got it, please. Don't allow us to think that you're so much of an orator and a speechwriter that you did it yourself or your people did it. Just give credit. That's it. Like if someone tries to steal my I Love Me concept, you better check it's copyrighted. Yes, it is. I did it years ago. When I did my CD with the music done by Errol Moore, I Love Me. Oh yes. So we'll take a break, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. And thank you so much again for joining us today. Hello everyone, this is a season of giving, and I'm asking you to consider one of your gifts to be Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift. As the gifting season begins to heat up, I am depending on you to do this for me. Thank you so much, and be the proud person to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website, DianaWrightTV.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Alrighty, we are back, and I'm reminding you again about the place that this weekend is quite a busy one. Have events on Saturday and Sunday, and oh, that's a wonderful thing to be busy and, doing things. You should not just be hanging around doing nothing. It's kind of boring, actually. So this Saturday, Anne-Marie and myself will be at Auntie Merle's Kitchen with Chef Bunny, 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to ask you to come out and support Chef Bunny. He will have tasters for you, so you can taste the food before you buy. You don't have to buy and then say, oh, it's no good. He'll let you taste. Just come on out and join us. You can buy a copy of my book, Deadly Negligence, if you'd like. And you can also get some skincare advice from Anne-Marie and buy some of her products from Mary Kay. So we're going to join up because we're doing that. We're going to go to a few other places. So we just want to do this, though, to help Chef Bunny to get some people to know about his restaurant. And it's located very conveniently in the Burlington Coat Factory Plaza, right at the corner of Southern Boulevard and 441. So it's easy to find. And please, we're asking you to join us. Come this Saturday. I'm not even going to tell you don't date no more. It's this Saturday. Don't need the date. Just this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. We'll be there for those 2 hours, and we invite you to come and taste the food. I know you love food, so come and taste the food. The curried goat, jerk chicken, jerk pork, patties and all kind of things. I think he has black cake, you know, that cake that a lot of you like. I don't, but a lot of people like it. I'm a plain cake kind of girl, and I do think I make the best plain cake, even better than Entenmann's. So we invite you to come and join us. All right? Yeah. And you know, he has lots of other things there that I'm sure you'll be interested in. I think I saw Bulla cakes in his little case thing there. Some of you like that, right? So come on out and taste the food on Saturday. That's this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Yours truly and Anne-Marie will be there, and Chef Bunny is really a nice guy. So let us just support him to build the business so he doesn't get frustrated and close it down. So when you feel for some Jamaican food from your country and you want to get close to the culture, you have nowhere to go if you live in that neighborhood. All right? So come on out and join us. And also, we're going to switch now to Election Day is today. Virginia, New Jersey, New York. Mayor de Blasio is predicted to win. Chris Christie in New Jersey, landslide is being predicted, because then he's going to be, winning the presidency in 2016. But then we have a divine supernatural power of God. So watch out, you know, David and Goliath, you never know. God might supernaturally let all those people go into the booths and vote for her instead of Chris Christie, and we all will be devastated tonight at about 8 o'clock. So, anyway, that's what's happening. Also in Virginia, we have Terry McAuliffe and Mr. Cuccinelli. Mr. Cuccinelli has such a mean-looking face. That's just my impression. But I want to know, who are the 40% people voting for Cuccinelli in Virginia? After all that Mr. Cuccinelli has said about women and about gay people, who are the 40% voting for him still? I want to know if those 40% include men. Do those men realize they came out of a woman? Do those men have wives or girlfriends or daughters or grandchildren who are female? Men, when you're voting for these guys, or is it that you just think the way that guy thinks, but you're not brave enough to come out and say it? You're voting for him because he's speaking for you. A vote for Cuccinelli is a vote that tells you you're against the women in your life, their freedom. And he's talking about Obamacare. Do you also remember that a woman is charged more for insurance because she's a woman? So to me, all the men that are voting for these guys who are against women, who are obsessed with women's vaginas and their reproductive system and their reproductive rights and their birth control and abortion, if you're voting for these guys, you are just as guilty. So what do? You vote for the other guy who has a more moderate. Why are these Republicans everywhere so obsessed with the reproductive rights of a woman? Is it you, Mr. Cuccinelli, that's going to go to God and say, "Forgive me, God, for what I did"? No. On Judgment Day, we will all have to speak for ourselves individually. Your mother can't help you. Your father can't help you. Your wife or your husband can't help you. Your mother, your children can't help you. So who are these people that are actually voting for these guys who are so against women or so anti-women? Is Cuccinelli, does he have a wife? Does he have kids who are female? Does he have a sister? And where did he come from? I don't know of any guy that has birthed a baby. His sperm was given, but that's about it. The 9 months of horror and soul and belly and body and face and nose and uncomfortable sleeping and all the things that comes with pregnancy and swollen breasts, and half your brain is gone, your libido goes, and then you birth a child that you're obsessed with? Are men actually thinking about the vote that they're casting for these guys? And please don't throw away your votes, people. Don't just vote for the guy who seems to be popular. Go and research what that guy stands for. All those Democrats whispering in Christie's ears, do you know what Christie stands for? Do you know that he's against the minimum wage increase? He's against abortion. He's pro-life. He's against equal pay for women. Do you know that? We cannot just go and vote for the tide that's happening. Like I spoke to someone yesterday and he was saying to me that it doesn't matter what the person stands for. If the person is black, as he was in 08 and 12, which is President Barack Obama, he would have voted for him anyway. No, I don't agree with that. But we laughed it off and we still talk, because you must agree to disagree, because I do believe that if a candidate is black, like Alan West in Florida, I don't care what he's selling. I would not be voting for him because he talks crazy stuff. And despite the fact that his wife came out and says, oh, he's a nice guy, I don't want to hear that he's a nice guy. I'm listening to what he's saying to me. And what he's spewing to me, I'm not buying, because I don't buy hate. So we shouldn't vote because we just like someone or because they are the same color of our skin. We should vote for someone because what they say is actually in line with your beliefs. So all those men who are voting for Cuccinelli in Virginia and voting for Governor Chris Christie in Jersey, are you having the same thought process on the issues like Governor Christie and like Cuccinelli? We shouldn't just throw away our votes because we must vote and we should vote. I'd rather not vote than vote for someone who I don't agree with, or who is just not saying the things that I think a politician should be saying. And if I read him and I feel his heart, because you can, just listen to them on the television when they speak. As I look at Mr. Cuccinelli, if I lived in Virginia, I just see a mean guy who hates women and just wants power and wanted to take away the rights of some people who he does not want to vote, mainly black people. So how do you digest that and deal with that? I think we need to take another break and come back in just a moment, because I think America has just lost its way. And people are just coming out racist. You know, like in one town that they stopped a bar from opening because the guy was gay who was going to open the business. Wow. Let's take a break and come back to you in just a slither of a moment. We'll be back. This is the Diana Wright Show. Hello, everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story. Deadly Negligence, the book. Available on Amazon and at my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Hello everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show, sponsor the Diana Wright Show, or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana Wright Show. Advertise with us and sponsor the Diana Wright Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, and we're back, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live, reminding you once again that come this Saturday, we would like you to join us at Auntie Merle's Kitchen with Chef Bunny to taste the food of Chef Bunny at Auntie Merle's Kitchen. All right, it's 5 to 8 p.m. only 2 hours. We'll be there, but he'll be there all day, all night, so you can check him out. You don't have to just come for us, just go and support the business, but come and see us, Anne-Marie and myself, from 5 to 8. It's easy to find. It's in the Burlington Coat Factory Plaza, and it's right at the corner of 441 and Southern Boulevard in West Palm Beach. All right. Okay. President Obama says this. He is no longer running for any office, but he will run until he can't run anymore in support and making sure that Obamacare is fixed and running the way he intended. Now I see a fighting spirit in my President Barack Obama. Yeah, and we applaud that. But on the flip side, I am wondering, Jay Carney had to get tested with an ABC reporter yesterday because he was just insisting. Why is the media insisting on just pointing out the bad things about the Affordable Care Act? Are all the people in the media, CNN, ABC, NBC, everybody, except, you know, MSNBC, Ed Schultz and those people, can they only see the bad and not the good parts of the law? Can they just, yes, it's a mess and it was badly rolled out and all those things, but can they just promote the good parts and not be tracking every single detail of what is bad about the law? Rollout. Not the law itself, but the rollout. And if you have insurance that you're buying before the law, that was foolish insurance anyway, because you just bought it because you could go to the doctor. But I trust me, if you got sick, that was not going to even cover you 10 days in the hospital. And even the good insurance that you thought you had would cover you for 45 days. I'm speaking from experience, and I know. I'm not just talking. I know. Been there, done that. With the hospital that almost killed my child. To say, it's 45 days and you're no longer covered. Oh, but you can go and apply for Medicaid. So why is it that the governors are not expanding Medicaid that like the governor of Kentucky has done? And his system is working for the people. It's supposed to work for the people, not the politicians, not their friends, not the rich, but the poor who cannot afford insurance. And I would like to remind all of you rich people, or people who think they're rich and don't give a crap about the poor should have a refrigerator for food. And some of those poor people that you all are downing, some of them do work. They only need food stamps or SNAP, whatever you call it now, or the Health Care Act, the Affordable Care Act, to help them to live a life, a humane one. We should all not be so selfish sitting in our glass houses on the top of the hill and thinking we're so wealthy and we're doing so well. We don't give a damn about those people down the bottom. We need to stop as a country, as a people. So I'm pleading with the American press, the American media, Morning Joe, all the talk shows, all the reporters. Could you please just talk about the positive things of the Affordable Care Act? One day. Instead of all of you sound just like the Tea Partiers and the Republicans and the wimpy Democrats who are talking behind the scenes. Why can't you all just talk about the positive sometimes? And instead of spewing hate, just teach people to love themselves like we try to do on this show. Why, people? Why can't we just give and show some love? And not be so selfish and think about ourselves all the time and what we can achieve and what we can do. And because we can take care of ourselves, we don't care about the little people down there. And I don't want you calling me a socialist, because I'm not. I just believe that if you have, you should not try to block those who cannot have. And all those Republicans and Tea Partiers who are trying to kill the Affordable Care Act, they all have insurance. They all have pensions. They all have money, because all of them and most of them are indeed millionaires. And millionaires over and over. Like Isa, who's always trying to... Is it all that Congress is there for, is to have a committee of investigators who are talking about why the rollout of Obamacare was so bad? Can we just talk about the good parts of the Affordable Care Act and try to make it work for the people who need it? And all the journalists that are speaking, all of them have health care through their companies. So please, let us get some positive behind the Affordable Care Act and forget about President Obama. President Obama is taken care of. His family is taken care of. He'll make all the money he needs when he leaves office continuously. So why are we trying to hurt innocent American people? And yes, there's always going to be poor people no matter what you do. Not everyone can be a lawyer and a doctor and go to college and get degrees. Some of us will struggle. Some of us will be ridden and crushed by fear. Some of us will be sick and cannot go to the hospital because we don't have health care insurance. Have you noticed that when you have insurance, that when you go to the doctor or the hospital, the first thing they ask you for, before they ask you how you're doing, they ask you for your health care card? We have become an inhumane society of haters and people who just don't seem to care. We become nurses because we are thinking about the money that a nurse can earn. And then some of us are disappointed because we have to work like slaves for 12-hour shifts. And we realize that now we have to do the work, and it's not just the aides that have to work. So please, magic words. I love me. And if I love me, then I'm affordable and able to give love and receive love. And I'm able to get rid of hate and envy and jealousy out of my life. Because God is my source. I believe in the supernatural. I believe in miracles. And I know that miracles happen. And this election day will show us who God is. My goodness. Who are we? What kind of people are we? Are we just going to continue to to kill the healthcare law by talking only about the negatives. Why are we just so mad about helping people who can't have insurance? And why are we so fixated on the fact that the president said if you have your health care and you like it, you can keep it? Yes, you can keep it if it meets the standards of what a health care plan is supposed to be. If you have a health care plan that kicks you out of the hospital after 45 days when you're in a coma, that is not good insurance. If you have a health care plan that you can only go to the doctor with, but if you get sick you can't go to a hospital with it, that is not a good health care plan. So why would you not go out there and find it? Yeah, the phones are not working properly and the website is down and oh, this and that. But consider the obstruction to the law by all the Republicans around the United States of America that has blocked the entire thing from working. And look at the ones that are working, like Kentucky. Why can't we do that? Why can't we take the Kentucky model and do it that way? It's providing jobs for people. Because you have to have people who are investigators. You have to have people who sit down at the table and write up the policy. So what are we fighting for? The hate of Obama? Stop hating Obama and love yourself, man, and give some love. I'm sick of this crap. Seriously. Oh, it's tiring, it's disgusting, and we look stupid to the rest of the world. Because if you go to France, there's universal health care. If you go to England, same thing. If you go to Canada, you might talk about it and say it doesn't work perfectly, but at least they have it. What do you have in your back pocket to give to the American people, Tea Partiers and Republicans, and all the critics in the media? What do you have? Do you have something? At least President Barack Obama tried to give something to those who cannot help themselves, as he saw his own mother, who I'm sure was a working person, struggle as she was dying of cancer and worried about how she's going to pay the bill. So give him that. And he talked about his daughter who had meningitis, but they had insurance, so they need not worry. But what about the parents who have none? And yes, Republicans, you want all the babies to be born, but you don't want to take care of them when they're born? What message is that? That's confusing. Get your act together and join me tomorrow at same time, same place at 10:30 for the Diana Wright Show Live. We love to say I love me on this show because I do. And I want you to too. So if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Have a blessed day and see you tomorrow.